All right. Well, it is another day, and we're going to be talking about Windows. Windows Utility today. 24H2 is released today, so a lot to go over. I've been rocking 24H2 for the past 3 or 4 months. It is, it's not great. As with all feature updates in Windows, it will cause more problems. It will cause feature bloat when you do update. It will have problems. And that's just par for the course when it comes to Microsoft. I haven't seen anything super bad. It's not like 1803 when it just deleted all your documents. That was a fun update. And if you don't see a theme going here with Microsoft, let me elaborate. Don't update. Don't update the day of release unless you're just hate yourself. If you hate yourself, update. That's fine. But don't update the day of release. It's always a terrible idea. So I can't emphasize that enough. Oh, it was 1809. Thank you, Coding Wonders. Yes. Storage sense was, I think, the cause of it. But yeah, just wait. Just wait. And don't ever jump on these feature updates. I think there's a bad mantra among tech people I think it just became like a PR type of deal where people were like, always update your computer. Now, you should be doing security updates. That's important. But feature updates are worthless, terrible, horrible things that are avoided at all costs in business. So if that doesn't tell you anything, you should know not to update. So if I haven't said it already enough, don't update. Having said that, I've been rocking 24H2, and it's got some fun things with it. Built-in Copilot. I was looking to see if they were going to bake in recall with standard systems. I think that's going to be the next update. We'll get on the desktop here and take a look, but it should be... let's see, what am I rocking here? First, if you ever want to wonder what update are you on, you can just go Start Run, or you can do the Windows key and R, do WinVer, and that'll give you your version. So you can see I'm on 24H2 here. This is the build of 24H2 I'm rocking. Now, I haven't updated this system in a little while, so let's see what that looks like. We'll go Windows Update. We have some fun stuff here. This might push me. I don't think they've released anything on the Insider build. Also, another thing, if you hate yourself, just gonna tackle all the bases real fast about Windows and their update cycles and what not to do, because I'm gonna do them, but I don't want you to mirror me. I want you to avoid. I'm making this mistake for you so you can understand not to do it. Windows Insider program is the worst thing ever. It's when this became a thing when Windows laid off their entire internal Q&A team. So they used to have quality assurance team, and that would go through and test builds before they got released to you, the public. They stopped doing this and instead have the Windows Insider program. They should have called this the Windows Guinea Pig program, because that's what you're signing up to be. You're going to run into bugs, and it's just a matter of how many and how bad it's going to break your system. Don't ever do this. Always, you can't turn it off. Let's see if we can we unenroll? Yeah, as soon as you go and enable it, you can't ever go back to it. You have to basically reformat, nuke and pave your system. So don't ever sign up for this. This is terrible. Now, having said that, I'm on the dev branch. I do do it mainly just so I could get all the way here. They recommend the beta channel. That's terrible. Anyways, I mainly do this just so I can make YouTube videos. This is the only Windows machine I do this on. And it obviously is you're gonna be filled with a bug-ridden mess. So anyways, let's first kick off the stream with an update. We'll just install all these updates and see where we're going. We'll catch up with chat while we got that going in the background. Muda called it. I love Mudar. He's great. Oh gosh, I love it. By the way, is the filter in Linux tool via conf to push updates out of view for 2 weeks or so? I don't know on that. A little irrelevant, but what's your opinion of immutable Fedora spins like Bazite? I really like immutable. I think immutable is the future. The one thing I can say that proves it's really good for normal users. Immutable will bring Linux to normal users, and I mean that by SteamOS. SteamOS is the best example of doing a Linux distribution correctly for a normal person. Hasn't been done ever before Valve did it. Now, you might be thinking, well, Titus, didn't you recommend Linux Mint or even Pop OS? I mean, there's beginner-friendly distros. Yeah, they're okay, but they're not immutable, and they're really easy to break, even for a noob, especially for a noob. I think we've seen that in the social media space a lot. So, yeah, I think at the end of the day, immutable distros will be the future for normies, normal people that just want to get on their computer and do, check their email or whatever it might be. So I look forward to that. I think that's really when people will start switching from like Windows to Linux, will be because of immutable distributions. But to suggest that everyone could switch over to Linux today with their current distribution landscape, I'm just not a big fan. Now, I will say Bazite pushes it towards the correct direction. It's not necessarily an immutable distro. It's called an atomic distribution. It's almost like an in-between where you can modify certain things like the etc folder, but you can't modify the USR, the system resources folder where most of your files would get installed. So everything's kind of immutable in Bazite, and it does give a really good gaming experience out of the box. So if you're like more normal-esque, maybe a little bit of an enthusiast user, and you want to try Linux out, Bazite's a great place to start. Just know you can't really tinker and change a whole bunch with it because it's an atomic system. So good differential there, but I'm looking forward to the future. Hey Chris, does MicroWin work with Win10 install with your WinUtil? Yeah, to a point. I haven't optimized MicroWin for Windows 10, mainly because it's going to be end of life next year, and you need to switch. So if you're installing a brand new Windows system today, I wouldn't do Windows 10. I would just bite the bullet, go to Windows 11. MicroWin's already optimized for Windows 11, and it works. It will work on Windows 10 as well, but not great. It's not a great experience. So it doesn't remove quite as much. You're going to probably see some errors during it, but it will work. It just, yeah, I think really just use the Windows 11 ISO is what I'm getting at. Can I get support for MicroWin on Windows XP? Hey, there's people that still ask me. I still, occasionally I get an email like, hey, your utility doesn't work on Windows 7. And I'm like, oh my God. It still blows my mind people use Windows 7 in 2024. It happens, though. At least those emails have become few and far between, but there's still crazy people out there. All right, looks like we're all up to date over here. It did not even prompt for a reboot either. Yeah. We got the final batch of fixes. Yeah, us sitting down, I think Coding Wonders has done a lot of PRs for it. Initially, Conti was the one that basically built the foundation of it, and then Coding Wonders helped clean up a lot of it, and then I sat there, I don't know, it was a stream about 3 weeks or a month ago. We sat there and just reinstalled a whole bunch and just trying to iron out the final bit, push it over the finish line, and it's pretty much there. So MicroWin's in a pretty good state right now if you're installing it using a Windows 11 ISO from Microsoft. And we do have, I think, an auto install. We'll test it out today where it'll auto download the ISO. I think Drift User was drafting a pull request for that. So we'll take a look at the pull requests on MicroWin today, along with other stuff on Windows Utility. So we do have an insider preview on our system here. We'll go ahead and reboot. I also like to be on the dev release so I can get the new builds. That way, if there's a problem with the Windows utility, I'll be one of the first ones to get it too. Is it difficult to go to Windows 11 because of hardware incompatibility? It's expensive to upgrade my system. I'm running a 1600. Man, 1600 is such a good system. I remember buying it on release. No, all that, MicroWin removes all that. I did get someone to email me and said, hey, they were using Rufus and they couldn't do Rufus with MicroWin. And Rufus automatically ticks like removal and customization of some of the ISO. Just uncheck all that in Rufus. I can probably show you here. I'll download some Rufus real fast. Let's go. All right, we'll check that out. Man, are we already up to 2,853 on pull requests? Man, blows my mind. We've been going for almost 5 years on the Windows utility. It initially started as the Win 10 script, and then when Windows 11 came out, I rebranded and basically refactored the whole thing and changed the entire structure from, it used to use WinForms back in the day, and then we switched it over to a more modern XAML thing that is capable of doing theming and such. Let's go Rufus. We also need to look at edge removal. I don't think that is working, but you know, we'll check. Oh yeah, I'm taking a little break from Rust. It melted my mind, dude. I gotta tell you, old Rust. Let's go to downloads. I'm just gonna pull this in. This is 23H2, but I wanted to just show. Well, I gotta actually have. I have to have a device to show it, but there's an advanced pop-up in Rufus that you want to make sure you don't do any kind of customizations to Windows when you do the install. It rusted my brain. Yeah, that's one way of putting it. I tried Bazite. It's legit, but I've already put a lot of time into Navara. I get it, Ken. You know, once you get your favorite distro, it's hard to switch. That's for sure. Nothing wrong with that. Dude, this is still downloading. Ugh. Cumulative update. I think it's still 24H2. It's just a later build of 24H2. So I don't think, probably 25H2 will be the next one, but I haven't seen anything in the dev branch yet. Why whenever I use WinGet, it is so slow? Any reason that I think of WinGet gets so slow when downloading and finding packages? Abdul, it might just be your local CDN that Microsoft's using. I haven't run into any issues with the speed of it. Oh yeah, Phoenix. I have already bookmarked it. Whenever I retackle Rust, we'll take a look. All right, let's jump into some pull requests, see what we got. First thing of the day, 2853 is what... here we go. First anniversary special PR. This PR adds final fixes and enhancements for the first year of MicroWin and therefore is an anniversary special. MicroWin was first introduced from WinUtil with a PR by Conti in October 26, 2023. Good job tracking that down. The 11th anniversary of Windows 8. 1129 and has been improved ever since. Since the batch of fixes is still a draft, I'll continue investigating issues and fixing them. Oh, that's cool, man. Let's see, what are the big changes? Yeah. I want to say, yeah, with some of the Wi-Fi drivers, some people were saying, no, that Wi-Fi is not changing. He's just adding the and onto the back of it. Foundation, Media Foundation. There was another one to look at, Coding Wonders. So I think this is also purging Remote Desktop or RDP. I'm not sure what... I know the executable for RDP is MSTSC, Microsoft Terminal Services Client. So it's actually purging this for MicroWin as well. So RDC is another one that I think is getting stripped out that we need to make sure gets left in as well. I haven't had time to investigate that. And do we have it on the Issues tab? Disable Microsoft Defender. Yeah, Yeah, can't put this in the utility because it will flag all antiviruses. Disabling any kind of defender is just immediately a trigger for all antiviruses, and the app will just get red flags everywhere. So I just won't add that back in. There's other additions if you're interested in disabling defender. I made an article about that. Sure, you can do it, but also having a one-click disable a defender I'm not too keen on. So yeah. How much money until you swap to NixOS? I don't know, man. I think I'm good with Arch. Arch has been treating me okay. Is there a way to inject the Intel Rapid Storage Technology F6 driver into WinUtil? Yeah, you should be able to. All those drivers you can just import directly. All right, so WinUtil error when printing a photo? Huh. Yeah, that looks like a corruption issue. Seems some files are corrupted when using microwin. Oh, okay. Looks like a microwin issue. Anyways, let's come back to pull requests. I'm gonna start jamming through these because I do want to get that. So let's go first. Look at docs update. OG's doing something. Fix some warnings about every run. Doing that. GitHub workflow. Oh, no, we're doing a workflow change. Oh, I'm always a little hesitant on the workflow changes. All right, moving contributing over into docs. Yeah, that's fine. Not navigation. Just a small change on the workflow. Nothing bad. And then we're moving it to docs. It's fine, I suppose. I kind of like it built into GitHub because there are some local symlinks that happen automatically with GitHub. Removing this file from GitHub, I don't know is recommended. I don't think it really matters, but we can see if it has any things. And then we have install image assets. Difference here. JH Lite. Okay. Just a couple image fixes, it looks like. Yeah. All right, cool. Not a big PR. OG looks good. We're going to improve that. I'll keep an eye on the contribution. It getting removed from GitHub that could pose some issues, but I don't anticipate anything too bad. Let's just check the action real fast by doing a doc update. It will be this action that I care the most about. Let's see what happens. It won't be recognized by GitHub anymore. Yeah, I guess that's the one issue. I was like, maybe we don't. I mean, why wouldn't we just copy it both places? Yeah, we'll just add it back. Drift. Man, I think at this point in time, I think you could just easily say, I kind of just do what I want to do. Otherwise, I'd be taking sponsorships and other stuff. So that's just my current setup. If I feel like NixOS, I'll use NixOS. But, I mean, hell, I got a job offer for $300,000, which I turned out. So to say you can put a price tag on NixOS, I mean, there's a price tag of $300K that I got offered, and I turned that down. So, I mean, I'm just going to use what I feel like using, man. I'll eventually revisit NixOS. I still like it, but I tinker too much. NixOS is really meant for someone that knows exactly the packages they want to use, and they want to replicate that over multiple systems. That's when NixOS makes sense. For a daily driver, it can make sense as long as those criteria are met by you. For me, obviously, I change things so much. NixOS doesn't make any sense as a daily driver for me, because I will be recompiling. I'm going to have a gajillion different generations. It's just like, man, ZMX, thanks for joining the members over on YouTube. Yeah. Damn, I'm having problems getting into IT paying 50 to 60K a year. I don't know. If I was starting over again, I wouldn't do sysadmin work. Yeah. Sysadmin work, obviously, with sysadmin work today, I have so much experience, it's fine. Like, I got 2 decades of experience with Windows servers and multiple different environments, a whole bunch of different things I can fall back on, so I can always find a job with sysadmin work. I think the main problem is, for people starting out, I don't think I would tackle sysadmin. I would probably go into software development, really. I think that's where a lot of the future lies, if you're interested in money, that is. I think if you want to make a ton of money, really young, software development, I think, is a great way to do that. Yeah, for DevOps. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've always hated DevOps. I was just like, I would rather just in the end take care of everything. Like, I guess you get separated out of sysadmin, and then you got software developer, and then DevOps sits between, kind of networking that. And I always kind of felt like DevOps is pointless. I feel like the software developer should either do the sysadmin work, or the sysadmin work should do the software development side of things. I just having basically a translator in between the two things on DevOps. I don't know. I guess maybe if there's a big company with like dozens and dozens of developers, maybe, I guess that makes sense, but I don't know. I just feel like all that should be automated, and the developers should be able to spin up their own stuff as they need, and not have to send like a ticket to the sysadmin team and be like, hey, infrastructure guys, I need to spin this up. Can you get me something? That just seems silly in 2024. I just don't understand DevOps, why that's even a thing in today's job market. So I think, honestly, software development's a good path. Obviously, sysadmin work, I think, honestly, you just learn a little bit to go on that, so you can spin up your own environments and do all that too. Why just both? I would go with both. It's like, do I choose Linux or Windows to learn? I'm like, both. You need to know both. You just can't go wrong with that. So that's just my opinion. You know, if you want to make a lot of money, I think learn both. And understand, like, the basics of networking and stuff like that too. Let's toss that in there. I mean, honestly, sysadmins should know basic networking. You know, maybe like a Network Plus from CompTIA or something, if you're unfamiliar with networking and how subnets and all that intertwine. Having all that knowledge would be good. Anyways, I'm rambling, yapping away. In Intel, DevOps are just another type of system admin. Okay, DevOps and infrastructure. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, DevOps are just a fancy word for sysadmin. That's fine. Tickets for environments are dumb. Agreed. What's wrong with generations? Oh my gosh. You Nix OS shill. Phoenix is always going on about Nix OS. Yeah, I tell you, man. We love what we love, you know. When it comes to distributions, people have just an affinity for it. Remove OneDrive from navigation pane. Is this not already been done? All right, let's see. Syntax errors in the logic provided. Drift users like, hey, this is it. This is being done incorrectly, I can tell already. Why is he doing it through an invoke script when this should be done through commands? Yeah, so it's a tweak. Why is this an invoke script? Invoke script when these are registry changes. Yeah, I don't understand that. I don't. I mean, I like that he tracked down that. I could refactor it and put it in there correctly, but I don't feel like it. Your YouTube stream seems a bit choppy. Yeah. It's weird. You know, I was tinkering around with my secondary, like the gaming section of things, and I was looking at that, and yeah. So if that's choppy, what we could do here, I'm gonna shut down the YouTube stream, I guess. Let's see. I could do SVT AV1. I don't know if I can do it on the fly or not. Let's just try it. Ooh. All right, let's see. A bit rate of 2500. I guess that's fine for 30 frames at 1080. All right, let's try that. I'm gonna just hit OK. That might stop the stream and start the stream. Yeah, let's give it a whirl. That's the other thing I like running about the second channel. Let me know if that fixes things on the YouTube side of things, Don. Appreciate you reaching out, though. Internet has been in and out today due to warfare. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that, LoJack. Have you turned your Google off and back on again? All right, here we go. I kicked it off. Let's see what happens with the YouTube side of thing. I don't know if I need to start and stop the stream. Oh, jeez. Maybe. Gar, thanks for the prime. All right, looks like an excellent connection, so you guys will have to let me know. All right, sweet. Looks like it coming through just fine. But YouTubers, if you'd let me know if it starts getting choppy, I'll restart it. All right, pretty straightforward. I like this addition, SSH server option. I think I looked at this and I want to say it looked really good. So we got that. Order enables SSH. Open SSH on your Windows machine. Ooh. I mean, not that bad. Let's see. So we have an invoke. We're starting the service. Setting up firewall rules. See, this guy's using straight up PowerShell. Nice. Too often do I see people try and use CMD, and I'm just like, no, I hate CMD with a passion. I like it. Yeah. Let's prove that, and we will merge. Oh, nice. I vote remove YouTube. Hey, YouTube's good, man. Give people options. You can choose what you want. That's what I'm all about it. Remove OneDrive. Okay, we did that. Move OneDrive folders to user folder. We already are doing that. Huh. I don't understand. Move OneDrive files to user profile. Copy downloaded files from OneDrive folder to the root of user profile. But why? I thought we were already doing a robo copy on the removal of OneDrive. Let's take a look at that, because I think this is wrong. Could be wrong, though. Sorry to bother you about Linutube. How do you feel about the possibility of adding a new tab about installing several desktop environments? KDE, GNOME. I don't know, date. not really into desktop environment installs because it's just so different from distro to distro. So let's see. What do we want to do? We'll look at tweaks.json under the config tab. All right, what's OneDrive removal doing right now? So I was like, I thought we were already moving all these files. All right, test path. Get that. Yes, start process, OneDrive exe. Uh-huh. All right. Check if OneDrive got installed. Copy downloaded files from the OneDrive to the root of user profile. You got to start PowerShell argument with robocopy to no wait. It's right here. And then remove OneDrive leftovers. This gets rid of all the junk left over from OneDrive. Remove OneDrive from a sidebar. And it's just slowly stripping out the rest of the leftovers. Okay. So it's already doing that. So what's he adding? 2683. Under tweaks. 2683 is right here. Huh. Okay, check the Sala comment. Okay, let me look. There's got to be a reason. Let's go back to conversation and take a peek. KRX, thanks for the prime. All right, let's see. Where are we at here? Nice. May I suggest creating a backup of the new folder instead of having everything from OneDrive to be copied to the user's home directory, since doing this will make a lot of clutter in the home directory. For example, OneDrive backup. Yeah, I don't really like that suggestion because a lot of the desktop and stuff get pushed. So yeah, right now it's copying all of OneDrive's into like documents, those types of things. But first it stops the OneDrive executable, because if you start moving stuff for OneDrive before it gets uninstalled, it will remove it from OneDrive, like on the web. So if people have backup files of their stuff and you start moving stuff out of OneDrive, it will literally erase it. What am I missing here? I don't in this chat. Oh, okay. Let's see. My bad, Rux. Was it in YouTube chat or Twitch chat? Too many chats. The downsides. All right, here we go. Oh, okay. Hey, Chris, I asked several times. Maybe you haven't noticed. I bought WinUtil a year ago, but I'm not able since a few months ago to download it. Oh, just send me an email at contact.christitus with your email that you used, and then I can just look it up and then send you a new link. It's probably just from the old store. There's also, well, actually, no. If you look on, here, I'll just show you. If you bought it using the old way, I switched stores not too long ago. And if you ever need to re-download, you just go here. And if you use the email you bought it with, I tagged every email as that can use this code. So if you use that email, it'll let you download it. So just use CTT with the email you used to purchase, and then you should be able to re-download for free. Yeah, yep. So you can just go on christitus.com/downloads, click add to cart, and then just put your email address with CTT in, and you can download the executable. Yep. All right, let me focus on this one more time. OneDrive path. So first off, he's adding move OneDrive files to user profile root. Copy downloaded files from OneDrive to the user right here. Move with XJ. I guess the thing I don't get here. So he's adding it right in here. The thing is, we're doing it right here. In just the next 10 lines at 93. So what was changed? I guess that's what I'm sitting here like wondering, why was this done? Just look at the file maybe? All right, 2.6, about 2,700. All right, so here we go. Here's the invoke script right here. So this is the copy. This is what was added. Yeah, you can't do it right here though. Again, if you move these files out with OneDrive active in the background, it will literally move them and delete them from their person's OneDrive. I don't want to get any hate mail on that. Yeah, this OneDrive should be killed. Okay, doesn't be installed. Check to get uninstalled. Yeah, so then we go through all this. So I don't understand why this was moved. This would cause all kinds of hell. That's the thing. Huh. Yeah. Just trying to look at what he did here. So it was right there. Test OneDrive path. I guess he changed the test path. I mean, that's not. If not test path. Yeah. Tmux. You know, I've never been a big Tmux guy. I've used Tmux a bunch for headless server implementations, but that's really the only time I like using Tmux. I've never liked using Tmux on my desktop client. I just always preferred a window manager. Thing I don't understand with this. Where's... If not test path, reg path. Okay, that makes sure it's killed. Where's the end of this? Shouldn't this have like a bracket here? Oh. How strange. You think it would be like right there. Okay. Let's install OneDrive. I feel like we're just missing a bracket, and then he moved it up here. I think that's the whole purpose of this PR. Made a new exploit targeting PGP protocol. Oh man, you guys remember when Facebook screwed up their BGP and then they were down for an entire day because their network engineer screwed it up? That was funny. It's kind of wild that Facebook just manages their whole own BGP. Oh, man. Classic. All right. Yeah, that looks right to me. I think this invoke script was broken. That's why this whole PR existed. He just moved it and then changed this. Because this is getting rid of this. And then it's checking. Okay, if not there, it should go ahead and copy the files because it got uninstalled. All right, let's go. Yeah, I know. Oh, OneDrive. You know it's 0. All right, first, we got to install OneDrive. Oh, old OneDrive. Oh, where are you at? We're going to just grab it. Install it. Brother, we got to test. We got to test this because I think the script was missing a close on the if statement from what I was looking at. That's why I kept going back and forth. I was like, why is this PR out there? The PR itself is fine. It's just, it didn't make much sense to me. Whenever you touch OneDrive, you got to be very careful, though, because, like I said, it can go vastly wrong and really do some damage. So don't just willy-nilly YOLO and yank and move OneDrive stuff, especially with the executable running, because you will regret it. OneDrive. All right. So we got OneDrive moving in the background, right? Boom. It's not connecting. Oh, it had to do an update. All right. Now we're connected. All right. Now let's go over to WinUtil. Well, let's pull these down, right? What do we have here? Oh, that's the changes we're making. So let's do a compile run. Now I want to test this out. All right, let's just sign in. I'm going to go ahead and don't want to dox myself here. I'm going to try and sign in with this account. I'll see if I have any files in here. Ugh. Gosh. All right. I just don't have any clue what I have sitting in... Oh, man, what do we got? I am just getting a bunch of errors all of a sudden. I blame OneDrive. All right, well, let's reboot. I think the update is still going in the background. I think it might have broken something. Let's restart. Let's see. I'm sharing your GitHub with my hacking and mal researcher friends. Oh no. Updates are underway. Please keep your computer on. I feel like all these messages from Microsoft is them just incapable of giving a percentage. Like, they got tired of telling people percentages, and they're like, you know what? They always make fun of us having a progress bar or percentages that never align with what's happening. Let's just say updates are going, don't do anything. Oh, here we go. It's actually doing the update. Yeah, doing good, GFY. And yourself? Hey, Sparky. Live SRT. Doing some live subtitling? All right. A suckless terminal? I'm not a big fan of ST. too much work. I don't have that much time. Intel rumored to have a P-core, only CPU next gen. I know you're on workstation now, but normally I'm excited for it. All right. I mean, this is Xeon, so it's not using efficiency cores or anything. So this is kind of a power-hungry beast here in the studio. Well, while it's updating, I guess we'll just pop in, check in with chat here. Live SRT is a secure, reliable transport like RTMP, but way better and more stable for receiving streams while out and about and rebroadcasting them to a scene in OBS. Ah, okay. I kind of do a remote RTMP using an iPhone whenever I was like in the garage and stuff doing like weird mobile scenes, and it was an easy way to broadcast it right back into OBS, and I was just running a local Docker container here. I think I was using like to receive the signal just a RTMP server, and then I was sending it from an RTMP client from the iPhone directly over to it, and then ingesting it into OBS. It was a little bit laggy, but not too bad. RTMP is still good, but SRT is way more stable and better quality. Okay. I'll have to check that out, Sparky. Yeah. Whenever I do a fitness stream. Which I can't say I've ever done one. Back when I did push-ups and pull-ups and everything on stream. That was hilarious. Don't really do those kinds of streams anymore now. It's like, all right, tech stream, bam, 2-3 hours, knock it out. Get it done. Screensaver. I forget where I got this screensaver. The blue. Was it Nerd or Die? I don't know. It's kind of something like that. Let me see. Did I ever get a login here? Oh no, this all broke. Okay. I think I need to do an update. My Thorium stopped working. The old Thorium browser, I probably should just kick it to the curb and do Chrome. I know. Blasphemy. Heresy. Yeah. OneDrive might have broke it too. It's a cancer. OneDrive's cancer. I'm just going to do an update all real fast. So if you look here, this is what we're going to update. Is Thorium in here? Yeah, Thorium's in here. We were on 122. So I think it was just an out-of-date web browser that was causing a problem. One arm pull-up yet? Nah. I'm still working on my handstand walks, man. All right, so we're just going to update all these. It looks like Git. Is cursor in here? Zoxide, process monitor, one commander. What the hell was that? I don't remember doing that. Anybody would know what one commander is? One commander. Huh. It's like a file manager. Okay. So you'd put like something over here maybe? And then over here. But if you're over here, let's say you're on this side. Ah, I see. Okay, it's just like a files alternative I must have been trying out. Yeah, Wingate sometimes can go awry. That's why I'm always kind of like, okay. Yeah, Total Commander is the best file manager with 2 windows by far, in my humble opinion. I like the Total Commander. It's just, I never saw one commander before. It's like, it looks pretty. Don't see any ads or anything, so should be fine. Pro font Windows. Huh. Theme. Okay. I doubt I'll use it, but sure. It didn't take very long to install anyways. ST is okay to bake in nerd font, but does need initial tmux to do scrolling. Man, I just have zero interest in trying to build all that in when I could just install Alacrity and be done. Titus, when was the last time you used everything to... I don't know. How are you going to drag and drop on the terminal? Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, terminal is great for some things, and then the GUI is better for other things. It just depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Like, here's a good example of where the terminal exceeds, is just a straight up, I mean, obviously, one could say, this is a GUI. I just launch it and I click update all. But all this is a winget command to update all the packages on the system. And I was like, I got thorium. I guess I could have selected thorium and then just set install upgrade selected, and it would have just updated thorium to the latest version, which would probably fix all my extensions that are currently bugging out. But I don't know. Let's check our version too. Oh, it looks like we still got a... Yeah, our version hadn't changed. In the tweaks tab, widget button in taskbar does not work. It does not actually disable it. Really? Let's look. So you got widget button. Turn it on. Doesn't do it. Turn it off. Doesn't do it. I think that was a recent addition, actually. Because... Oh, well... Did they remove widgets in 24H2? Why am I not seeing widget up here? Widget should be under taskbar items. I think everybody hated the widgets and they got rid of them. Can anybody else confirm on 24H2 if they have widgets in the taskbar items? Because I am not seeing it. What's the best browser? Chrome. Yeah. Oh, Internet Exploder. Cute browser. Hey, I do love cute browser. That's fun. It's fun to use. Yeah, so widgets used to be right here. So I think they added widgets like what? I think it was 20H2 or was it 22H2? That was short-lived. Best web browsers, W3M. I'll die on that hill. Yeah, that's where I'm at, Sparky. I don't necessarily like thorium, but it's fast and it's pretty minimal, and it gives me the Chrome basic defaults. It feels like just a debloated stuff that doesn't necessarily strip out too much. Like if you go de-googled Chromium, it's just such a rough experience if you still use Google in your life, which I do, of course. Okay, just updated to 24H2, and mine has widgets under task view. So task view. It's this. Mine does not. What did I do? So what's Windows Update look like? It says I'm up to date. Well, all right then. Yeah, you know, I've noticed that too. Chrome and Chromium really need competition. It's becoming the new IE. The fun fact is, what was it? Google got hit with all the antitrust. And I want to say that that's going to kill Firefox. It's like 80% of the money that Mozilla Firefox made was from the exclusive Google, the Google money from it defaulting to Google search. And now that that's illegal because of the monopoly Google has, I don't know how Mozilla is going to make any money. So I don't know if business loses 80% of all its revenue and overnight, how do they keep functioning? So I don't know if Firefox is even going to be here next year. Maybe it'll probably take 2 years before it dies. But I think Firefox will die. That's the thing where I'm like, I can't imagine how they are going to be able to. Yeah, it was $500 million from Google search default. So Google is paying Firefox $500 million. That's nuts. Oh, I don't know if it's that much, but I mean, it was a lot. Was it 500 million? Either way, I'm like, you don't just lose that much money overnight that you're getting paid from Google and then just be like, yeah, that stings. I'm a business and I lost 80% of my revenue. I think that would just completely bankrupt almost every business I know of. So I don't know how Firefox would continue working. I guess that's why Mozilla is branching into advertisements. Yeah. The thing is, Jerry, you don't just build up that kind of revenue overnight. I mean, I think Mozilla's cooked. It's only a matter of time before Thunderbird, Firefox, and all its derivatives just die. Because you can't make up that kind of windfall of $500 million and still be a viable business. So it's kind of funny that by the government stepping in and saying, hey, Google, you have a monopoly. You cannot pay for exclusive search rights to all these other places. It effectively bankrupted Firefox and gives Google an even more of a monopoly. That's just wild, right? Maybe Firefox subscriptions to keep Mozilla afloat. I don't know. I don't know if you can raise that kind of money. Who wants to pay $5 for the browser that doesn't work as well as Chrome? You know? Nobody. I think Ladybird, Ladybug had flashbacks to Weatherbug. You remember that app? The spyware, I should say. Yeah. So when you're doing the task view, okay, there's task view. The widgets button. Name taskbar DA. Unauthorized. Huh. I might look at that. Let's give it a reboot probably after that install. Oh, Edge got reinstalled. Okay, well, let's just. You guys like my old man icons? Ah, yes. Yeah, let's just take that. Ah, perfect. Can you see him? Ah, I was hoping that would give me a restart, but I don't see anything. All right. Okay. And OneDrive didn't launch this time around either. All right, let me see. I'm going to put up my little screen here. I'm going to try and log in, and it still didn't work for me. Huh. Guess I'm going to reboot. Yeah, I was trying to log in again. Yeah, I don't really want to try window managers on Windows anymore. It just feels bad. Like, no matter what you do, you still have all the extra Microsoft stuff left over. And I feel like if you want to do tiling window managers, just use Linux. I just don't want to do it. Because if I'm in here, I'm really only got 1 or 2 apps open. If I was a power user in Windows and it was my main system, I might do it. But I just don't want to. Because to me, I just, you know, I already have the tiling over here. I can just pull this up, do my stuff, pop back into Windows, and I'm good, you know? To put tiling windows in Windows just feels wrong. It's like tricking out a Fisher-Price toy, you know? Just go buy the real thing. That's just my opinion. All right, let's launch Thorium. Still don't have anything. Error. Unfortunate. Is this 126? 126. Huh. It's broken. Yeah, so that's not working. Crud, man. It could also be the update, because we updated the WinVer and we're on the dev branch, and I think that broke maybe like the SSL channel, maybe. Hard to say. I guess I can just toss like Chromium or Chrome on here and test. One commander was just like a double column file manager. So, oh gosh, that sucks. I'm just thinking. That's okay. And you know what? I'm just gonna go OneDrive. Let's launch OneDrive. I'm gonna sign into OneDrive. We're gonna get it all going. Let's see. I gotta get my phone out. I don't have any kind of password authentication on this Windows instance, so I'll have to type all this crap in. And all my passwords are just stupid. I hate passwords. I wish everything was just like a physical key, you know? It would make everything so much better if everything was just a 2-factor physical, you know, like a YubiKey, you know? I feel like that would just be the way to go. We should make that happen. And every time I look at like Windows Hello and there's some of the authentication Microsoft does, I feel like at the end of it, I'm like, doesn't this just make everything less secure? It's just what I'm thinking. Gosh, this just... One second. Light year later, I'm going to type all this in. Can we put any more weird symbols in here? Maybe. Well, dictionary attack's not going to work on this guy. All right. OneDrive signed in. I'm about to turn this off. Once I'm done, I'm just going to see if I have anything in my OneDrive. Backup folders to it. Okay, I'm going to see. All right, I think we're good. Let's go documents. What do we have over here? All right, we got 500 gigs. Ah, crap. I don't want to upload that much. Oh, it's all of the GitHub. Drop table. That is the best username ever. Drop table employees. What about lockpicking? Well, I love lockpicking lawyer videos on YouTube. That guy's amazing. He's like, look at this. Here's a $300 lock. They say it's unbreakable. And then he just sits there with just a pick kit and then unlocks it in like usually 2 seconds. I still rely on my password for user account authentication. Oh, well, yeah. I see. You're doing a password and then you're using two-factor. Yeah. I mean, that's what most people do too. Either that or he takes another lock and then unlocks it. That's true. When you run your toolbox to install like Thorium, it asks for credentials. I don't know about that. We could take a look though. Yeah, YouTube's slacking, man. I will say YouTube has more lurkers than Twitch. Twitch is a bit more active. It's just a better chat experience because it uses IRC servers, where YouTube uses some like archaic, awful way of doing it. We're definitely not going to do backup of that. Pictures, 277. What's in pictures? Oh, God. Do I dare look? All right. Risky click coming up. But I kind of needed to do a backup. Let's pretend I'm a noob. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to trust OneDrive with all my files. Let's go user, subscribe. What the hell's in pictures? It's Nord background, probably. 277, yeah. Okay. Here we go. We're not going to back up docs. We're just going to get pictures. This should be enough to test the backup. So, we're going to start the backup. Okay. We're going to start the backup. Here we go. And let it go. All right. Get to know your OneDrive. Next. Share files and folders, everything on demand. Get the mobile app. Ugh. Gross. Okay. So we got that. Oh, my wedding videos are on here. Good to know. I was looking for those. Anywho, so this is OneDrive. It's got all the pictures, and then it moved the pictures from subscribe pictures. See how it moved those into OneDrive. So this is what OneDrive does: is it takes the documents, the desktop, and moves them directly in the OneDrive folder. So now that we're using it, I want to uninstall it using our tool. We can finally test this piece of crap program that everybody uses. Oh, wait, nope. We're not going to launch this online. Let's go WinUtil. And we're going to do a compile run. This is all from one PR too. Where's the wedding photos? Well, it was, me and my wife have been married for, God, we got married in 2009. So that would be over 15 years ago. Man, where's the time go? We've been together for almost 20. All right. Let's go tweaks, uninstall OneDrive. There's OneDrive over here. Not here, but we go tweaks to get rid of OneDrive. Let's see. Clear. All right, remove OneDrive. Run tweaks, right? So we're going to take this, push it over here. We got remove OneDrive, and we're going to just hit run tweaks. I wanted to test to see. Oh, that did not work. Runtime exception occurred. Argument is null. Provide a valid value for the argument. Try running the command again. Okay, so that did not work. I guess there was... I added a bracket where I shouldn't have added a bracket. Does the Linux toolbox work on Mac? No. No, it does not. Yeah, I got married before OneDrive existed. I think it was called SkyDrive back then. Before the rebrand. Oh, all right. What happened here? Do we not have JSON? I added this, but I feel like... Yeah, see, I think all of this should get pushed over. And I believe there's a bracket, so all of this was encompassed in it. So it should look like this. Let's tab it over a little bit. Yeah. So this was all within this if statement, and it was just hard to read because of there was no tabbing. Yeah, so I added something and then killed it because I'm silly. No changes actually needed to be made for this. We'll do a compile run, and what I want is this OneDrive to disappear, and then all these files to go there. SkyDrive was launched in 2007. Look at me. Bam. Nailed it. Oh, so yeah. It was before I got married. Not before me and my wife met, though. All right, so we got tweaks. I'm not using AI, although... Give me time. Someone made an issue asking why WinUtil crashes out Linux. Oh my gosh. You can Drift. You can close issues, right? With like the /close command, right? Yeah. I'm pretty sure you can. You have 99 issues on WinUtil. I was like, it does see a lot of run though. All right. Remove OneDrive. I want to see this icon behind me disappear. So let's go run tweaks. All right, removing OneDrive. And I don't really care about the GUI. I just want to see what's happening in the background. So OneDrive icon just disappeared from the task view or taskbar. Copying downloaded files from the OneDrive folder. So that was interesting. So it copied. That's interesting. So we should have pictures with Nord background. Yes. That's back. Gravy. So that did work. Got wedding videos right here. Oh, no, it didn't. Didn't grab my wedding videos. But you're about to see baby Titus. He would have been 20-something years old. So this already works. I don't understand this PR. I just hunted down something for an issue that didn't even exist. This does do exactly what it should do. And then you have the OneDrive folder left over because I'm not doing a move. So you don't ever want to do a move. I'd much rather leave a duplicate and then have the user go in and clean up. Just in case something happens with the copy that goes awry. They'll have the original OneDrive. But when you do a move and the OneDrive service like is in your taskbar right down here and it's running and then you start moving files from OneDrive, it actually will go into OneDrive and delete those files. So this PR is terrible. Just absolutely awful. I don't understand the purpose of it. And my Thorium's broken. Error, file not found. It has been moved or deleted. Chrome lookup. Oh. How much money to uninstall Cursor? None. Cursor is amazing. You're not getting me to do that. I love me some Cursor. Yeah, I don't get that. This needs changes. And then this move OneDrive to user folder, that's just a bad PR. Doing it that way is just no good. Refactor, simplify. Taskbar invocation. Mom's already had one bad PR. I don't know. The last one I checked out, it did not work very well. So I'm hesitant, and especially with the changes to install. I don't want to accept this. Simplify. I mean, why are we making these changes? We've already tested our code. I don't feel like testing all this crap. It's just a change to make a change. Simplify taskbar invocation. Again, I think it's just a change to make a change. Yeah, it's simplified, but are these changes actually tested? I mean, you're just changing these multi-lines into single lines, but shit, that's not even. Like what? Yeah, no. That's not easier to read for me. I like Martin's one that he did. If it needs to be simplified, he should do it. All right. I just don't agree with changing that code. I won't. If the code could be optimized and there's a performance benefit and it makes it more readable, yes, maybe. But to just remove or condense code for the purpose of just condensing it with no purpose, it doesn't make sense to do for already existing working code. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just like, I just don't like it. All right, we got Drift. All right, Drift usually has some good PRs here. Man, we've just had so many bad PRs. Check if admin principal's there. What's this for? Line 2431. What was that for? Create restore point. Oh yeah, you have to have administrative. Yeah, good one. See, always solid. Drift's always good. I can just look at the code and I'm like, yes, that makes sense. Wash and merge. Bam. Maybe I'm biased. All right, let's take a peek. We've closed some PRs out. Just not very. What did we change? There's tweaks.json change. What have I changed in tweaks.json? Oh, yeah. This is just fixing that indent. Yeah, I mean, I like that. That's fine. Let's push it. And I'm just going to grab that. All right, so we're up to date now. That's with just drifts changes with the restore point. We'll go ahead and test it just to make sure. I know, tests are boring, but a necessary evil. Drummer, did I miss any RTFC moments? I haven't had very many people scream at me today. Phoenix has been spamming his normal NixOS nonsense. But he's leaving now. Take it easy, Phoenix. Hey, Chris, quick question here. Is there a way to put the taskbar on top of the window, left or right in Windows 11, or can you add this to your awesome tool? Yeah, no, so the whole taskbar got reworked with Windows 11. It was one of the big changes. So the big thing here is this uses a whole different library, and Microsoft hard-coded the taskbar to be only at the bottom. So you cannot move it to the left or the right like you did the old version in Windows 10. And subsequently, you know, Windows 7 as well, and 8. You could actually move this bar. You can no longer do it because I think it uses the... Oh, God, what was the framework they switched to? The name eludes me right at the moment, but they switched the framework on how this was all built, and they rebuilt this entire taskbar in a new framework, and it just doesn't have that capability anymore. Yeah, UWP. Thank you, Tro. That's exactly what it was. It's just bad design. Well, we're talking about Windows. The kings of bad design. God bless them. All right, and DNS.eu. It's a public DNS service. European public DNS server. All right. Shout out to the EU out there. Please remove this bit. As mentioned by Mola, we need changes to change DNS.md removed since it's an auto-generated file. And it looks fine to me. There are some replacements that can get you to let you to do it, but they're hacks, not full replacements. Yeah, it's modifying the system files. So I don't want to ever do that. Like, yeah, there's always ways to do things that maybe weren't intended by Microsoft, but by doing those ways, specifically interacting with here, you have stuff like Explorer Patcher. And I've used Explorer Patcher. It's an amazing project, right? But inevitably, Microsoft will put it on an update and it'll just break everything. It sucks, but that's just the nature of the beast. And when you do these hacky workarounds like Explorer Patcher does, you got to make sure you stay on a specific version of Windows, and it should be a stable version, not like obviously 24H2 we're launching today. You never want to use something like this because it will break. Almost on every update, and then it's reliant on these maintainers and contributors to maintain the code. It's kind of wild. They only had 10 contributors on Explorer Patcher, and the last patch was 3 weeks ago. So, yeah, wild. Anyway, let's look at the changes here. We're going and doing DNS0.eu. I've never used this DNS server. Anybody else in chat ever used DNS.eu? The European public DNS that makes your internet safer. A free, sovereign, GDPR compliant recursive DNS resolver with a strong focus on security to protect the citizens and organizations of the European Union. 193.110.81.0. Just doing a little check here. Just want to make sure we don't take a bad commit. 110.81.9. 81.254. Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm skeptical anytime I see something's like safer and secure. And then I'm looking and comparing the DNS servers. It does look, they probably have this entire subnet, but so they have a kids at 1, they have a 0 at .9, and then they have open at 254. Okay. Interesting. Hardened security for highly sensitive environments. Massive increase in catch rate of malicious domains, especially in the brutally early hours. So you have this one. So that's the 0. This is more of a hardened one. This is just an open one, like probably Google DNS kind of thing, except more GDPR compliant. Yeah, Cloudflare 1.1.1 is probably the market standard. So this one goes a little bit harder. So EU.0, this is more for like a security hardening, more paranoid environment where you want to block a lot. Open's more of an open, like a Cloudflare alternative. And then kids would probably block, I imagine, like porn and stuff like that. Let's see. What do we got for kids? Yeah. Yeah, no explicit search results, mature videos, those types of things get blocked. No ads, no piracy. Really? That's kind of cool. All right, DNS.eu. I like it, though. I've never heard of this DNS provider. Oh, neat. I approve. All right, we got that. Moving on. Next changes. Fix excluding logic from preprocessor. All right. I think we were running into compile errors with this last time we were looking at it. And this is PowerShell 5 that caused the problems. I think Coding Wonders was the initial one that submitted it. Works fine in PowerShell 5. Perfect. Great. If you guys tested, don't see the error on force fix. Also, the fixes Coding Wonders problem. I'd say this is amazing. Kind of a rewrite is something I plan on doing. Nice. Let's see the changed code. That was the compile bug. Yeah, he fixed it. Alrighty. Yeah, OG was the one that wrote the initial preprocessing and standardization. Just doing a quick peruse to see if I see anything that jumps out at me. I do not. Yeah, looks good. So we will submit that, pull it down. We'll do a compile run just to kind of clean things up, especially on a preprocessor. I want to see if it changes anything. So let's close this guy. That drops that. So we'll do a git pull, grab those changes. Let's do a compile. I'm kind of curious to see what kind of changes or formatting changes we have. No changes. Oh, wow. Clean. All right, just to make sure we have a compile run with no errors. It didn't change any of the files, so I imagine we won't. All right, cool. Perfect. Love it. Good job, OG. All right, moving on. We got another Drift user. Impex add link support. Rework Impex add link logic for importing configs via parameter. Okay, adding in error handling, and then he submitted it. Perfect. All right, let's take a look what Drift is proposing for this. It looks like reworking the import-export logic for the JSON files. So you can do auto run of tweaks, and also like I always install these 10 programs, and you can always just feed that right in with a JSON file. Export, import. I'm gonna just accept it, and then we'll test. We'll test it and make sure it works properly. So we got that. And what we're going to do, git pull. And then we'll do a compile run. And from here, we're going to just select a few things. We're going to grab Chrome. Let's go tweaks, go standard. So we got these two things. We're going to export these selections, test, save it. So you can see these are the things we're doing. So first off, let's go WinUtil. And we're going to import our test. We got Chrome here, and we have our essential tweaks here. Perfect. So to test this out, let's feed this in. Vivider Monkey. Thank you for the super chat. Let's see. What do we got here? I wish there was a quicker way. YouTube and our live stream stuff. I wish there was a faster way to see, but that's okay. Howdy, Chris. I've been meaning to thank you for your work on Windows debloating tool project. You created it, helping me a lot. Also, have you heard of the Windows debloat custom image called Show OS, created by author of Mini OS? Yeah, whenever it comes to custom ISOs, I always recommend not to do it. There's a couple instances where that doesn't hold true, where I'm like, you know what? It's always weird talking and seeing myself talk. Yeah. But there's just too much. It's easy for a bad actor to slip something in when you have these custom spins. And there's a couple instances where that's not true, and I kind of do my own spin of it with MicroWin. MicroWin is essentially its own custom deal, and it basically just uses all authentic, regular Microsoft approved stuff. DISM to strip down that toolkit. It's what we use in business to create custom images, but it doesn't distribute an image. It forces the user to make the image. It just says, here's all the custom, no nonsense, just drop all the garbage. Here's what we do for business. And that's what MicroWin is. Just a very like one-shot solution to get you on the desktop with not all the garbage that Microsoft ships Windows with. But it doesn't make any like system changes. It's not going to uninstall Edge. It's not going to uninstall Defender. It's not going to do any of that. It's just going to give you a base to jump off of and say, okay, I want to add this or this. It just is very simple. And that's kind of my process to it. I think that's a good starting spot for most folks. There are people that want to go really high tinkering and really rip out all this stuff and get down to like 20 processes in Windows 11. while doable, but you're not left with a very functional system. Microsoft Store is typically broken, and you do have issues running any other future updates also with Microsoft products. So I don't like any custom ISOs because, one, it invites too many bad actors, and two, it usually breaks Windows functionality. And that's why I don't ever recommend them. So that's just my thought process. And it's not to say, hey, don't use those ever. I just would never recommend it. I always recommend just the stock setting, the basic stuff, and then, you know, just all I want Windows to be like when I first install it is exactly how like Windows 7 gave us a clean desktop, nothing else. It's just no frills. There's nothing like TikTok and all this other crap sitting on your start menu. Just a clean start menu, clean desktop. No extra programs installed except what comes baked into Windows. And then it's up to you what you want to go from there. Do you want to go higher on the tweaks? Sure, run my utility, strip it out even more. Cool. If you want to just go from there and go, you know what, I just want the stock experience, all you got to do is start installing your programs. You're good. And that's just my opinion when it comes to these. But custom ISOs or custom spins of Windows typically is never recommended, and the potential for abuse is extremely high, and distributing ISOs also is illegal. And I do mean that it's illegal. Like if I gave you if I make an ISO of Windows from Microsoft.com and then I gave it to you, that is illegal. So the fact that people are distributing these ISOs tells me they're not American, and they're probably not even in the EU. They're probably from some other country, and you know the potential for exploitation is even higher because of that. So again, it's one of those things you gotta know these facts whenever it comes to these ISOs. And I know a lot of people are like, well, I like my super ultra gaming Windows ISO. And I'm like, hey man, whatever floats your boat. It has a cool theme, has a cool hacker man in the background. It makes you feel good. But at the end of the day, you're probably just getting exploited and probably put on some bot network, or maybe like a zombie, some type of setup like that. It's just not a good idea. And that's my opinion of all, without exception, all ISOs. You should never download a Windows ISO except from Microsoft.com. But yes, use scripts. Hey, that's what I made with MicroWin for, to help take out some of that pain. But, you know, it's the official Microsoft ISO, and it uses only the official Microsoft tools. You're not using some extra playbook or something made from somebody else. It is all official. There's nothing in the Windows toolbox. It's using official PowerShell. It's modifying the official image, which gets extracted from the ISO. It's called install.wim. And then we're using DISM to strip out features and tools that come baked into it, and just running official Microsoft commands. We're not downloading anything extra. If we have to download anything, it's like the OSC DIMG tool, and that is only used in the imaging portion of it. And that's official Windows SDK. So that's just coming directly from Microsoft as well. I'm not hosting any binaries. I'm not doing any kind of distribution. Everything's from Microsoft, and that's how it should be. You should not use anything made by a third party outside of Microsoft's control when it comes to Windows. Just too many bad things can be dropped in there, and there's no repercussions. A lot of them say it's open source, but then you go to the source and you're like, well, it's not entirely open source, is it? There's some stuff stuck behind either a paywall or maybe some of the code's obfuscated, and I just don't trust it. Yes. And I you know, Microsoft is no saint here for sure, but if you're going to use Windows, you should know. You should know. And I think Windows users are easier to exploit in this regard because people are like, oh, well, Microsoft's got backdoors. Well, yeah, it's not like these extra third parties are removing those backdoors from the NSA that Microsoft had installed, you know, allegedly. all they're doing is adding more backdoors. It's not any more secure. A little correction, it comes from the ADK, Assessment and Development Toolkit. Yeah, thank you. I misspoke saying SDK. Thanks, Coding Wonders. But yes, that's the gist of it. If you can't see all the source code and compile it yourself and do everything, I don't know, man. I've seen too many just decades of abuse and people getting taken advantage of in the custom ISO space. Sorry for that long rant. I'm kind of passionate about it. I've removed so many Windows viruses from people doing stupid stuff and downloading ISOs they shouldn't download. You're just curious. And I was too, man. Like, heck, what was probably one of the most known teams out there? Like, there's Team OS that had all these custom ISO spins. And then there was Gen 2 that, they distributed a whole bunch of stuff too. There's a bunch of like hacking teams that do distribute this stuff. And, I've looked at it. I've installed this stuff. I've reviewed it. And I just wouldn't ever recommend anybody to ever do that. While it looks cool, man, you're just taking such a huge risk for no reason. But just my thoughts. All right. Moving on. Oh, no, we were testing this. We were testing, I don't think we did a CLI test. Let's see about doing that. What was the tag? It's been so long since I've executed JSON. Where's our documentation? I think it was. All right. I want to say we used to have it on the main page, but we've moved it into the documentation somewhere in here. Batch usage. Here we go. No, never mind. Automation. Here we go. Export. Yep. All right. So we do the dash to config. All right. Here we go. Let's try this guy out. Well, actually, we could kind of do this. I'm going to cheese a little bit. We're not going to follow the guide exactly. I think we can just do like a dash config. And I guess we could go like C. I know there's a faster way, but test.json, and then let's do a run. I think that will work. Let's see if that goes. No. Let's restart real fast. Let's try that one more time. I feel like that should have worked. It's been a while since I did this, but no, I think the dash run. No. It's going. Okay. Windows users are less sophisticated than Linux users in most cases. I think that's a fair statement. It just depends. I've met plenty of dumb Linux users too, though. Let's not forget. They're everywhere. You lift out how Microsoft targets, regular users and leaves solutions in place. Yeah, I mean, Microsoft's like the king of compatibility, I'd say. When it comes to Windows, it's kind of amazing what gets left. Yeah, it has some issues. I think it's working though? Well, maybe not. All right, yeah, that does not look like it's working. In task, it looks like it crashed on me. Anyways, I thought I'd test it locally. Yeah, I'm sure. It's a work in progress. I still like it. I still like the PR. It doesn't break anything, and you can still do the import export through the GUI. So, it's fine. When will Windows go the way of the dinosaur? I'm not sure it ever will. I think Windows will always have a massive market share. You know, that's the thing. It's the 1,000-pound gorilla in the room. More than 70% of all computers, especially client computers, use Windows. 16% of that, past that is, I think, Mac. And then you have a miscellaneous mix of Chrome OS and Linux and FreeBSD, all kind of mixing up the remainder. I don't know. I mean, you got to remember Microsoft has so much, some deep pockets there. Use here strings for JSON in compile. Ooh. Not sure on this one. Let's check out Rux's though. I remember us doing this and it breaking one time. Can't remember why. In theory, this should work. We're just fixing caps there. Man, I do remember accepting this PR before. And it got reverted. I can't remember why we reverted it. AT&T's still around here, especially. I think it just takes a long time. Let's see. I'm going to hold on to this one just because I do remember this PR happening before. And we reverted, and I don't understand why. I can't remember. Anyways, yeah, I'll wait on that one. Just because we already did that here stream. I agree with Rux. Here strings are much better. Because right now we're just kind of querying after doing the deserialization of the JSON. And then we're just saying, hey, anything with a single quote, go ahead and replace with this, or just for the ingestion, which if you use a here string, instead of having to do these replaces that we're doing, it just goes, hey, here's the chunk, throw it in this here string, and then deserialize it and go. But yeah, I'll go there. All right, remove MS Edge policy errors by removing invalid policies. See this one. We'll go ahead and approve this workflow. Let's see what the changes are. Edge enhance images removal. Edge follow enable removal. All right, cool. Those things did get removed, I believe. And that's fine. I'm not going to wait for the linting. Have you came across Rectify 11? I have not. Well, I think most big corporations too, they don't really invent. They just compile all the patents and different companies together and then try and make something out of it. Like the iPhone, what, Apple acquired 14 different companies or something ridiculous? It was insane how many companies Apple acquired and how many engineers made the iPhone what it is. People don't realize that was not Apple just doing it all in-house. That was Apple like buying a crap ton of patents and companies. I know specifically for just the keyboard was like multiple companies. Same with like the touch design. Again, that was a crazy thing. Like how the iPhone was made was wild. So all big companies don't really innovate. They usually just buy out a whole bunch of smaller companies, and hopefully there's somebody in charge of the big company that can make it work. Otherwise, if it's just like a whole bunch of like VC bros, um, they just have this monopoly and everything just gets worse because they just absorb all the competition and roll it into debt and then pay out all their executives and just these giant checks. And that's just kind of like the MO today. It's very rare you run into, like, say what you will about Steve Jobs, at least he got stuff done. Which is more than I can say about most of corporate America these days. Small side tangent, but you know. All right, update invoke of microwin helper. What are we doing here? Added direct play to not remove on microwin. Good for games that require internet connections. Looks good to me. Coding Wonders signed off on it. Direct play, that sounds good. Let's squash and merge this guy. The thing that kind of blows my mind is probably the two things that stick out to me of like when corporations went kind of off the rails, but it's really fascinating to look at is like the late 70s to early 80s when corporations just got so big, but they're still innovating. The thing was the executives in charge didn't understand what the innovations were and then just kind of sat on them. Like Kodak, I think the first digital camera from Kodak was either the late 70s or early 80s, but they never marketed or sold a digital camera because all their profits were driven by selling film. So Kodak was like, we can't sell a digital camera. We're literally going to kill our profits if we do that. So they just sat on digital cameras, and it's kind of funny. Kodak just kind of died because is Kodak even still around? But that was kind of an example of completely just mismanagement. Another thing that sticks out in recent memory from a fun one to research too, where just corporations just fail just so spectacularly, but they made and innovated still, but they just didn't know what they had, was Xerox. I mean, Xerox is obviously the one everyone always goes to with like Xerox Park, where they had that entire campus of just all these brilliant people creating stuff. Like the whole modern computer system was made by Xerox, you know. Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, they all stole it. And that's just wild to me that everything was just, you know, mismanaged and nobody even knew what they had, and that, or at least not even know how to market it. It's wild. Oh, Kodak's still around. Okay. But they got bought out. Okay. That's what I thought. KB5043145. Don't install it. Maybe that's what broke my browser. Let's see, what do we install? Example of being on the dev branch gone wrong. I went on this huge rant at the start of the stream about it. What do we have? KB3145. Do we have 3145? 3185? 3145 is not here. Yeah, so this was today right here. Feature updates. These were old. So one of these broke my Chrome. So although I need to probably load up Chrome and just do a basic sync and see what happens. Some people reported problems with BitLocker drive encryption and automatic repair. Okay. Wow. Well, alrighty. Let's see what else we have. Remove duplicate edge debloat tweak. I got a duplicate. Not sure. Probably by the time the linting's done, I'm going to squash and merge it anyways. Configure do not track. It's probably somewhere in here, huh? Well, I don't see it up here. Let's just keep going. Come on. Do not track. Let's keep going. All right, so here's the edge debloat. Do not track should be in here somewhere. Configure do not track right here. 10. Configure do not track 10. Yeah. Duplicate entry found. Squash and merge. Well, Peter, you missed it earlier. I called, I think Firefox is going to be dead in 1 to 2 years. So all you people on Firefox are going to have to switch to Chrome. Or Ladybird. They just lost $500 million a year. I mean, good luck. What are they going to do to make up $500 million? Tell me that. Riddle me that, Batman. A company doesn't just lose $500 million, especially one as small as Mozilla, and then just go, yeah, no problem. We're going to keep going. Business as usual. No, they're going to go belly up. Mark my words. Gonna happen. What's this? Add logic to remove registry tweaks. By Martin. Martin usually has some of the best ones out there. I'm not... Oh, okay. Yeah, so right now, set item property path name. If it's not there, then you got remove item property. Path name. Set item property here. Set WinUtil registry. I thought we were doing this. Oh, I guess not. I think we were manually having to do it in evoke scripts. Somebody will take over Firefox. I hope so. Like I said, I'm not rooting for Firefox to die. Don't get me wrong. But yes, Firefox is completely on fire. I'm just acknowledging what I see. I hope they survive. Let me just come out on the record and say that. Man, a world where Google just dominates all of the browsers, not one I would like to live in. But I'm just a realist, and I just call it as I see it, and that's just what I thought about Firefox. I was like, man, I hope they make it. I hope they find a way out. I hope someone comes in and bails them out, because otherwise Google's just going to take over the entire browser space. And setting up a modern web browser is insane. It's so hard. As like, you know, the Ladybird project gets off the ground as a whole ground up web browser implementation, I really am rooting for them too. Because I don't necessarily like Mozilla as a company. They're just weird. Martin says, instead of simply putting 0, as we can set the value to remove entry and just delete the entry as needed. Yeah, that's what I was looking at on this review. That'd be cool. So then we can update the tweaks.json file to reflect that. It's pretty awesome addition. All right, moving on. What else do we have? I'm gonna see if we have any other big ones. Cryo, got another one from Drift. I'm gonna try and get through his too. Drift, Martin, OG, Rux, all of them have been contributing for almost more than a year, I think. So usually I hit their PRs first, and then I'm like, okay, I got through those. Let's see if there's anything else. I actually used Ladybird. Have you? I have not. Not even close to being done, unfortunately. That's kind of what I thought, because it was just so new. A modern web browser is just, it's going to take a little bit. I did, Rux. Uh, correct me if I'm wrong. Actually, I had a question, Rux, to you about this earlier. When it comes to the here strings in the JSON file, we accepted this PR, or at least I did. I don't know if it was you that submitted the PR. Why did we revert it the last time? Do you remember? Because this tweak was already done, or this PR was already done. I don't know if it was by you, but just, yeah. I thought Chris dislikes JSON. JSON's okay. It's like, meh. I prefer TOML. TOML's my favorite. It goes TOML, JSON, and then way down here is YAML. I freaking hate YAML with a dire burning passion. I don't know why. I don't know why. I just really hate YAML. And give me TOML or JSON any of the day of the week. JSON's a little bit harder to read, and sometimes it has like little how it gets implemented. Sometimes there's extra commas and other stuff that has to get removed and not. Where TOML just feels right all the time. I just love all TOML. Anyways, just between the three, that's how I rank them because of, you know, a few things. Yeah, and YAML's just so easy to break with spacing, git commits, all that stuff. Just, ugh. Yes, YAML is used only exclusively for CI/CD. I don't know why. It's like, come on, Microsoft. Well, it's Microsoft. There you go. I answered my question. I answered my own question. With that, it's made by Microsoft. Of course, they're gonna pick YAML. Hey, hey guys, what's the worst one we could use? You TOML or JSON? No, there's got to be something worse than that. Yeah. YAML. Okay, let's go with that. You got it, boss. that's Microsoft for you. TOML's too easy. You know, if it's not gonna break, I mean, we can't use that, obviously. I mean, God forbid you have like stable code. All right, sorry for that rant. Anyways, sound mixer auto reset. What do we got going on here? Fix a non-related issue to MicroWin, but Windows itself since the last 9 years. Add a registry addition of a key to make sound mixer work. Oh, really? Anybody know about this? Sound mixer not saving individual app sound settings, MicroWin install. Apparently it's just a bug that's existed for 9 years. And the fix was to do this right here. That would save it. There you go. Another bug fix. I kind of feel like WinUtil is starting to turn into like one of those really crazy Skyrim mods, you know, like the mod for Skyrim you install to fix like the 563 bugs that exist in Skyrim on the stock settings shipped by Bethesda. That's what I feel like what's going on with WinUtil here. It's kind of funny. Anywho, it's funny. Dovahkiin. Yes. Skyrim player spotted. There we go. Anyways, yeah, that's cool. Let's look at the pull request. You're getting rid of these unused vars in MicroWin, and then we're just fixing Windows volume mixer issue. All right. And I know earlier I said if you look at a MicroWin works a little differently. Usually I like to do set item property using PowerShell, but you see this reg add command. This is actually a CMD command. But typically, oh, this is actually a little bit wrong. I think. When we're doing MicroWin, I believe this gets mounted to like a secondary registry. That's why you use reg add. And I want to say this, is it HKCU? I want to say there's like a Z software or some kind of special mount point for this. Let's look at invoke microwin real fast. Because I want to say invoke win microwin. Where are you at? Was it in public? I don't think I put it in public, did I? No. Where are you at? Microwin. I'm blind. Ah. All right. Microwin helper. Well, I thought there was. Yeah, public invoke WPF microwin. Okay, that is under public. My bad. All right, let's go. Public invoke WPF microwin. Yeah, I think it's the default Hive, so we're gonna just find that. We're very close. Z default. Here we go. Loading registry. This is HKLM. So we gotta load. We aren't loading the registry for HKCU. So I don't think this would actually do anything. So it should be like a Z software HKLM entry maybe. So instead of HKCU, you could do HKCU Z software, but I think let's see if this is on local machine. Sometimes you get mirrored settings. Maybe we'll get lucky. So what I want to find here, sorry for the flashbang. Blame Microsoft, man. All right, you got Microsoft. And then we got Internet Explorer. Yeah, you know me. I'm just making sure y'all are still awake. Do we have low registry in here? Low rights. No low registry. So HKCU. I think we'd have to load the registry Hive first to do it. To make this modification. Yeah, so it's very close, but yeah, that's gonna have to go into HKey current user, and we are not, I think, by default loading that one. So if we look at the Hive when we load, reg load right here, that's fine, but maybe no. I'd have to extract it and then see what we're doing for a reg load there. Yeah. Well, yeah. So probably to fix this, when we do the extraction of microwin, we could pull it up in maybe. I was getting excited. I was like, maybe I have leftover files from an old extraction. But yeah, I think we got to extract and load the registry Hive before we can do this change over here. So actually, let's go request changes. We need to load the HKCU Hive using a reg load command. Right now, only HKLM for HK local machine is being loaded and can be changed. Once this is done, we should be able to do a command like reg add HKCU /Z software and ... That's like some just basic pseudocode that should steer him in the right direction. So almost. Oh wait, did he already fix it? Damn, that was fast. Okay, let's see. Yeah, but the main issue with this is this key doesn't exist in local machine. It exists in a current user. So I'm sorry, flashbang coming, guys. Close your eyes. Be glad I warned you. So if you look here, there is no low registry in local machine. But if we go into current user, coming to Microsoft, what was it? Windows current version? Wait a second. Nope. It was software. Software Microsoft. Microsoft Internet Explorer, I believe. I think Microsoft would freaking improve their shit sometime, but you know, whatever. So then you have all the settings here. So you can see that this is where this mixer and everything lives in Windows. So almost everything can be changed from the registry. It's really important to know that. If you can think of an old setting from like Windows 7, there's still references of it existing in the registry. But understand the difference between current user and local machine. Sometimes there's mirrored values, that's true, but in this instance there isn't. So this would actually not work because of the local machine. So it would have to be a registry. Oh, it's already been fixed. Well. I think the default Hive is the HKCU of the image. Is it? Oh. So then his original code was correct. Oh, my bad. Are we sure on that? All right, let's keep going. Sorry. Got a lot of drafts. HKCU gets generated for each new user from default, if remembered correctly. So then if we look at the default on HKCU, it should be... so this is... Let's go back. Where is that? Is that it? Users default. Okay. Z default, config defaults. I want to say Z default. Okay, so then the Z default would be what gets inserted in there. So it would actually be a HKLM / Z default would be the generation from that. The code with my proposed fix was right. The original one affected their current system. So yeah, that's not going to show here, but I get what you're saying. Can't you check for registry items from PowerShell? Yeah, you can. You can just do, hey, does this path exist in registry, and it'll fail or not fail. Oh, you left a comment? All right, let's check it, Rux. For the here strings. Do you remember that? I can't remember. I had to refactor my code where I used here strings for the XAML stuff because the changes in the compile.ps1 and pre-processing. That's right. It got committed around the same time and they overlapped and caused issues. That's what the revert was from. I couldn't remember what it was from. I just remember you already did this once and then we submitted it and then we had to revert, but it was because of the precompile. It was related to the force being used in pre-processing when dealing with ignoring files and directories. because it was causing compile issues in PowerShell 5. I believe OG rewrote all the algorithm to fix the issue and restore functionality unrelated to JSON XAML using here strings. Okay. Yeah, I knew there was not anything wrong with it because the code looked good. Let's just check it out. Just double check. 2816. Let's just see. You know, I'm going to blind you at least once a stream. You know me. You know me. All right. We got that. Let's switch our branches. Let's go over to PRs. I'm just going to grab the here string. We're going to test this one live. I think it was really just the compile and run that I wanted to test. So you can see we're on 2816. And a compile run should test the here string. And I'm just going to run. Did we ever install Chrome? I can't remember. Oh, we didn't install Chrome. All right, let's test that. We'll first do an install of Chrome. That looks like it's working. I love GitHub. I literally could never develop anything without GitHub now. Or Git. Not just GitHub. Just Git in general. Whether you're using GitLab, whether you're using, you know, Bitbucket, Codeberg, whatever you want to use. I don't care. Any Git repository, really. I just have to use Git. Git is so amazing, and it has saved my ass so many times. Like, I will never develop anything without Git. Ever. In my life. From now until the time I die. That's how much I love Git. It's just a game changer. Very complex, very hard to wrap your brain around when you first start. But once you get it and you get Git, you gotta get it, Git. Once you get Git, oh my gosh, a whole world opens up and you're just like, where has this been all my life? So amazing. CVS for the win. Get out of here. Ugh. Surprised you didn't say SVN. Get good with Git. Yeah, Git is amazing. It just is. Oh, that did work. Let's go tweaks. Making sure. I'm sure everything's fine, but heck. We don't need another restore point. Let's just run this. All right. That's looking good. Oh, awesome, man. Well, yeah, I love doing this. This is so much fun. I always just think of how much time I save. I mean, at this point in time, WinUtil's getting run almost 20,000 times a day. That's insane. Like, what's our total runs up to now? I think this is gonna be good. Yeah, obviously it's fine. It's been tested. Squash and merge this. But check this out. Most of these PRs are drafts now too, so we've worked through a lot of it. Look at this though. Look at that. 2.1 million downloads, and this is only the last like 4 or 5 months. When did we put this in? It was insane. It hasn't even been a year. This was done, I think, around March. February or March, I think, is when we put the download counter in. And it's already up to 2.1 million runs. Insane. That is a lot. Just got to add a crypto miner and retire on the beach somewhere on my own little island. But yes, this is insane. Look how many contributors we have too. 188 contributors now. How many runs are those from Chris? Quite a few. Quite a few. Oh man. Yeah. It's just really cool. It's really neat because you can see like Coding Wonders' first commit was at the beginning of this year. Calum, he pops into chat from time to time. He started in the beginning of July. He's responsible for a lot of the documentation. And Martin's first commit would have been, it looks like sometime in March. And then Drift User's first commit was back here in January. OG, I want to say, is it February? But like these core contributors for this year, it was around, I think, July when I was like, I'm a full-time dev. We're going full into development. We're going to make this the best it can possibly be. And that's, you can see, obviously, my commits went stupid. 47 commits in a day. All right, I need to do more PRs is what that tells me. That's just padding the numbers. As I've gotten better in recent, although I haven't been working on it in recent weeks, you can see I've only had like a couple commits here for just like some break fixes. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this so much. Sorry, those downloads are from me. I install it on a lot of systems. Appreciate it, Justin. It's insane. It's insane to see that many runs. It really is. But it also just awesome. It kind of shows the power of open source too. Oh, and then we got Rux too. Rux never gets enough love. His first one was in March. And I'm trying to think, do we have any active developers that have like hung in there from my ups and downs? Yeah, I see a whole bunch of old names. I'm like, oh gosh, yeah, I remember them. Hadn't seen them in a minute. But yeah. Usually, you know, people in the nature of open source, they might pop in and only drop 1 or 2 commits, and then they're gone. But that's okay. You know, just those 1 or 2 commits are usually enough to make a difference or help the project. Did you ever get around to looking at my issue with Thorium? Oh, no. What was, what you got, High Octane? I got to tell you, I don't check issues very much. I know a lot of people do, but I usually do not. High Octane? What's your Git user? Do you see Linutil getting this popular as well? No. Linutil is just more of a passion project. It's just, there's just so much less appeal when it comes to Linux. Because everyone has like their own way of doing things, and there's just so many different options and configurations to take into effect that you just can't really standardize as well as you can, obviously, on like Windows or Mac. It'd be nice though, yeah, if Linutil blew up, that'd be cool. But I mean, heck, I think it's already more popular than I thought it would be. But like, you look at it though. Did Octane ever respond to me? Oh, you don't have an issue. Okay. I can't remember. What was the issue that you were having? Let's see, Linutil. Like, I think we're at like, how many stars has this guy got? I mean, shoot, that's pretty popular. That's more popular than I thought it would be. Yeah, this is the drastic difference between Windows and Linux, though. You got 2.4 thousand stars over here, right? That's a lot of stars. But then you go look at the runs. 28,000, which that's still a lot, but when you factor in how much runs you're getting on the Windows toolbox. 28,000 compared they'll do this. This is over the course of its, I think we added this functionality 6 weeks ago. Linux utility is moving pretty fast. So it's not seen much adoption yet. Not as, but I mean, it's also still so new. Like, that's the thing, is it just hits like a certain point where more and more people, and then when it hits mainstream, it just kind of goes vertical. And, you know, we're not quite there. We still got to do a lot of development, I think, on LinUtil before it becomes a common practice for a lot of people to use it. And, you know, maybe we do a GUI and that type of thing, and that's probably when that'll happen. Oh, it was asking me for credentials when I tried to install it for the toolbox. Okay. I think I'll tackle that another day. Once we do the anniversary special PR from Coding Wonders, this is one of the big commits for MicroWin. I'll probably recompile, and then we'll test out the MicroWin ISO. Maybe we'll do that next week. Yeah, first finish it, then GUI. Yeah, and that's kind of where we're at. We want a really good base with just the terminal UI, and then once we get the terminal UI all perfect and beautiful looking, and kind of exactly how I want the functionality of it, then we can look at an actual graphics user, you know, a full GUI. YouTube only stutters with live streams when there are too many viewers. That's crazy. I switched it over to compile with AV1 on YouTube. I did notice, I was doing a test actually last night, Peter, on the Age of Empires stream, where on the, because I was dual streaming to YouTube and Twitch over there too, just as a test, and I was testing out new codecs, and I tested out the AV1 codec to YouTube. And if you ever stream to YouTube, do it in AV1. AV1's so much better, and with the movement in that game, when you're moving on like the map, it would blur a whole bunch when I was doing X264 encoding. Switching to AV1 removed a lot of the blur. So pretty cool. Is it GUI or GUI? I say GUI. GUI sounds better than GUI. Graphic user interface. But I like to say GUI. I think a huge win for LinUtil is when the guided setup script in the GPU pass-through and Looking Glass. I mean, there's a lot to do there. And the complexity of the Linux utility is pretty insane. There's a lot to account for in Linux comparative to Windows. Windows, for some odd reason, well, also you got to remember too, I've been a Windows user for 30 years. I don't know. Long time, more than half my life. And I gotta tell you, I know Windows so darn well that a lot of the nonsense that it has, I just understand at a deep level, to where when we're developing the Windows utility, I might see something and I'll be like, oh, that's gonna cause problems. I remember doing that. I understand the tweak's bad, or just like there's nuances to it that I just have at a deep level, where in Linux, since the environment can be vastly different from one computer to the next, it's very hard to support. And that's, I think, probably the biggest problem with Linux is just the fragmentation, and trying to support all the different fragments of Linux is a challenge, a huge challenge. Don't you feel dirty 30 years of Microsoft? I mean, there's times where I'm on Windows and I don't mind. A lot of times when I just get stuff done, it's fine. I just like, it depends on what I'm doing though, really. There's times where I like being in Windows. There's times where I like being in Linux. I'm getting to the point where I think I'm finding a good happy medium between the two. You know, if I just programmed 100% of the time, I would never leave Linux. I would say that. But since I do so much different stuff, between gaming to content creation, making videos and other stuff, Windows is a big part of my workflow. It just is. I don't see that changing anytime soon. How popular do you think Mac utility would be? Probably pretty popular. Mac utility would probably be the funny part is I'd probably make the most money on the Mac utility, and it'd probably be the easiest to develop for. Where the Linux utility, I don't think I'll ever make a dime off of it, and I think I'll have to dedicate the most amount of time to it to make it good. It's just one of them things, which is fine. You know, I love Linux, but I do understand it's definitely more of a hobby project than ever producing any kind of money. But there's our people that support me, and there's sponsors that pop up, and we, you know, I usually get between GitHub sponsors, you know, about $150 a month. So I mean, it's not nothing, but I mean, it's not exactly going to pay the bills either. So it's cool. I love it both, and I love the Linux utility almost like if I get really fed up with the Windows utility and I'm like programming, I'm like, oh, I need a change. I love switching to the Linux utility because it's so different and it's fun. No, Linux is far from a hobby project. You know, I made it sound like a hobby project, but I think when I look at the Linux utility, I just kind of want to build it to make my life in Linux a lot easier when I'm doing a new setup. And that's really where I'm going with that utility. That's the goal. Linux has huge corporate support, not just servers, Wine, Valve. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see where Linux goes. From a server standpoint, obviously they dominate, and you know, I use it all the time for those server things. But from a desktop perspective, I don't ever see it. You know, there's always the joke, the year of the Linux desktop. I don't ever see that being a thing. I don't think we'll ever see any kind of wide adoption of the Linux desktop, and that's okay. But I think it'll carve out a good niche where it won't be like 2% like it's been forever. You know, I think it's at 4% right now or something. And I think we will see a sometime in the future, maybe 10%. And I think that would be a huge win for Linux. And I think that will come from a really good immutable distro. But, you know, like Steam OS, I mean, I guess you could say that. But you could also call Chrome OS kind of like an immutable distro. So, I mean, it depends. If you add in the Chrome OS and stuff, it's probably 6 or 7% right now. What could you quit your job and live off of money-wise, WinUtil or MacUtil? MacUtil for sure. If I had to quit my day job, I would probably immediately start working on the MacUtil. I'd immediately grab my Mac machine and probably grab another Mac machine and start hammering away on the MacUtil. Because I'd come out of pocket, $100 for the license to develop on the Mac and submit it to the store, and then just start pounding away on that, because I know it'd be really easy to monetize. There's so many just terrible defaults on the Mac, and every single system is almost identical. So the Mac is really easy to optimize for. All the commands are almost the same. What was the last pre-release of WinUtil? We probably need to do a pre-release right now. Let's see. I think we did a release 9/12. Let's go ahead and do a release over here. It's been more than 2 weeks, which I usually do about a release every 2 weeks. 3 weeks ago was the last one. So let's go ahead and fire it off. I just wish companies would get together and make one anti-cheat software and also work with Linux. Lo, thanks for the Prime. Yeah, well, I mean, pretty much Valve has. Easy Anti-Cheat does work on Linux. It's like a tick box. It's just some developers don't want to tick the box to add Linux support. It's kind of insane. Valve's made all the tools for publishers to enable Linux and also do anti-cheat in Linux. It's just a lot of them don't want to do it, which is wild to me. Then why aren't you making it for Mac? Money's not everything. You need enough to live. You need enough to eat. You need enough to do your stuff. But it's not everything. So it's not my primary motivation. Let's just say that. Between all the stuff I do, day job, YouTube, streaming, you know, a variety of different stuff that I generate revenue with. Probably, I don't know, probably 12 different income streams. You know, I make usually a decent amount. Not like, oh my God, can move to California or something crazy. Shots fired, but enough to live comfortably and my family to be okay. And that's where I'm fine with. I don't need to make a ton of money, but at the same time, you know, do what I enjoy. And that's, I think, a huge thing. I really am obsessed with doing what I enjoy, because when I chased money, and I've told this story a whole bunch, I chased it for, hey, how much money can I make in the corporate sphere? And the maximum I made as a sysadmin, basically, IT director / sysadmin, I was kind of just doing a huge bit for this company. You know, I got up to about 145,000 a year, pulling in about 10% KPIs on top of that for a bonus, yearly bonus. So roughly about 160 probably after all of that, with great benefits and all that. But I was absolutely completely miserable with that job, and I was just constantly working and you know, I remember thinking back, I was like, this is not worth the money. And I don't regret that time I spent there making that, because it afforded me the luxury of paying off a lot of my debt and getting kind of clear and being able to go, you know what, I want to focus on something I can make money doing and enjoy doing it. That's like the beauty. It's not how much money you can make. It's more of, can I be happy and make enough money to do the living expenses and all that? That's really the cool thing. That's the thing I always strive to do. And, you know, I still do a day job, which, you know, I don't mind. And that's just kind of my thoughts. Yeah, I haven't paid off my house. That would be cool. That's a life goal. If I pay off my house, I'll probably end up quitting my day job. Well, no, probably not even then, because insurance here in America kind of sucks. And my day job, I don't make much money at my day job, but they do still give me benefits. So it's almost like I go in one day a week. I work pretty much for them so I can get insurance. And they know that. You know, I'm just like, it's all good. So most of the money I make is from all the other avenues, and the day job, you know, I'll still pull in. I mean, it's not even $1,000 a paycheck. It's just enough to pay for insurance, really. But I think that's the big thing. Yeah, just I think everyone's goal in life should be make enough to where you can do all the stuff. You know, have a good place to live. You know. And then do something that you actually enjoy. If you can do both, man, you're just incredibly fortunate and lucky. So I'm beyond lucky, I think. One day a week working for insurance. Funny, painful, and it is required. Yeah, you know. A lot of people here do it too. Like you know, a lot of people are like, why is there a 60 or 70-year-old man as a Walmart greeter or at Home Depot? That guy's so knowledgeable. Obviously, he could get a better job. No, that guy's just working there for the insurance. So it's just one of them things. It's all good. Do what you love and you will get good. That's true. So true. That's what I always chase. You know, it's important to make money. Yes, 100%. But if you can make money and do what you love, man, that you're just the luckiest person on earth if that's you. That link's an actually interesting thing. Let's see. Let's see what you got here, Rux. Oh God, I gotta fix that. Do I have Chatterino on here? Oh, no. Just come on over here. I want to support you for your incredible work. What is the best way? Best way is probably GitHub. GitHub's probably the best way because everything from GitHub is pretty much goes into my pocket. You know, I get 95% of all the money you donate to me through a GitHub sponsorship to me. Over on YouTube, I get about 70% cut. So if you do like a membership for the $5 membership on YouTube, I get about 70% of that. So that equates to about $3. On Twitch, I get 50%, but they increase their sub rates to $6, I want to say. So I get about $3 for those. Yeah, that's the best way. I used to do like Patreon and other stuff, but I always felt bad when people donated a ton. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And I, you know, I found that this way is just the best way to go. Yeah. Thanks, Lynn. I appreciate it. Okay. Let's click this link from Rux. What do we got? What do we got here, Rux? Debugging and troubleshooting issues with the WinGit tool. WinGit package manager creates default logs and executing commands with WinGit info. Okay. Drops most of the logs. You can include the -- logs or open logs option. Verbose logs will give you a little bit more readout. Akron, thanks for the tier 1. It's crazy. I started using Linux as a kid around 98. Now it's paying for my bills. Ah, that's awesome. For the longest time, I worked in QA, now back to admin. Yay. Quality assurance is always a rough one, man. That's awesome, though. I want to be a remote developer. Just need a direction. Oh, I don't know. I'm not big on remote work. Of all the things I miss, I do like going into a job. There's something, maybe I'm just institutionalized. Maybe I'm like the Shawshank Redemption over here, but I like going into a work and just chatting with people. I don't get as much done, mind you. So I'm not saying this from like a productivity standpoint. I just like bullshitting with everybody at the office. And that's just fun to me. You know? That's what I look forward to the most. Honestly, when it comes to Wednesdays, I said it was mainly for insurance, but really, when I go into my day job, a lot of times I just like talking to everybody up there, and you know, just one of those things. Remote work itself, I think, is very lonely, and if I did that 100% of the time, I'd probably go insane, and my wife would probably kill me because she would just see me all the time. You know, there's that too. I'd get locked out here. I get locked out in the dungeon. Yes, I've been daily driving Cosmic. It's been great. Wait, the IT guy that likes to talk to people? Liar. TJ. Yeah, there's a part of me. Now, I don't like being around very many people, mind you. Don't take this as, hey, I love huge crowds or anything. Nope, that's not me. But I do like talking like one-on-one to a lot of people. That's just fun to me. Could you give me your opinion on the new UI look on the newest PR? Oh, yeah. I did want to look at that. Let's jump over here. This is cool, though. Thanks for sharing this, Rux, about the log. So you could do verbose logs. You can actually do regular logs as well, depending on what you need if you do run into troubleshooting or debug issues. So I did want to check out this UX Refactor install tab. Here's the new PR. Check this guy out. This is all Drift user here, but we've been talking about this for a little while. mainly because the problem we were running into with a lot of the applications is it just showed so much on the screen, and people were, well, they're like, it's hard to find stuff now, and that's what the whole search feature is for. But this is the new vision from my Drift user to fix this issue, because I've basically shut down. I was like, hey, we've got the base amount of applications on here, no more. It's just bloating up the screen, and most people aren't clicking on the new stuff that gets added. So here's Drift user's redesign of the applications install. Let's see, get installed. Okay. I wonder, when you do get installed, I wonder if we could hide the other unchecked things, because trying to scroll through all of that for the check things would be kind of cumbersome. So maybe a filter for get installed we could do. Okay. Yeah, text wall of shame. Yeah, LoJack. Yeah, I think probably at app suggestions, I just wanted to get a really good base on the tool first before we did anything like that. But yes, this is exactly what I was thinking. Some type of filtering tool, maybe like a tabs, like, hey, you want a browser? Oh, you already have it over here, actually, right here, the categories. So you could just check browsers, communication, development, and then it would just show those things. So yeah, Drift users already got that baked in. So I guess really the only thing is like the get installed limit and get rid of, have the other one, everything's fall away that's not checked on the get installed. So then it would just show you the installed stuff. I think that would be kind of cool. It might be hard to program from a filter standpoint, because right now we filter by a single word, but maybe we add a new category and just say, hey, this is what's installed, and then be able to call that variable when that's installed. Anyways, just a couple thoughts, but yes, that's perfect. Big redesign, love it. Really good logic, totally. And yeah, that's just beautiful. So very, very neat. Thank you for doing that, Drift. Amazing. Have you worked as an IT tech setting up PCs in schools, hospitals, etc.? Yeah, I used to do a bunch of deployments for various businesses. Back in the day, it would have been circa 2003 to 2006. I did a bunch of businesses for Best Buy, Geek Squad. That back in those days, they went in and most of it was like SBS, like small business server. So most of the businesses were anywhere between 100, well, probably as small as, I'd say probably 20 people. And then as large as, I think one of the bigger implementations was probably 500 people. And yeah, so I got to see a whole bunch of different businesses in that 3-year period of time, probably about 50 different big business installs like that. And I got to, we did everything. There was almost no facet of business we weren't in. It was a great learning experience. So I got to see everything. Why did you stop? I'm just trying out Cosmic, Peter. I didn't stop. On the Inside machine, I'm still using DWM because I have extended session. So I pretty much rock that all the time. Chris, I like micro-ND bloat you've created. It balances perfect. Nothing extreme. Nice basic OS to start with. Yeah, thanks, Sparta. We're still working on a couple little bugs that have popped up. Coding Wonders is working on, you probably see him in chat here. He's been working on an anniversary, 1-year anniversary of when that was initially committed to the project. And we're working on just cleaning up a few little things that we've noticed. I think one of the biggest things was RDP getting purged on MicroN. So that's going to be make sure we're excluding that. So remote desktop connection would still be there for Win 10 Pro or Windows 11 Pro. And there's a couple other little bug fixes, but everything's going really well. I love it. And it's kind of what I'm going to. I'm probably going to have to wipe out my Inside machine soon too. Yeah, we're internet let's end it here. I think this is a good little day. I know we kind of went through not as much as probably should have, but I was just feeling chatty today. Some days I get on here and I'm just like, no, we're getting through everything. We're powering through the pull request, but then I get to yap and you know. Today was one of those days, so I am going to drop out. We will see the new pre-release before we go. Oh gosh, I almost forgot this. We should have a new pre-release on here. Here's the new pre-release for October 1st. That's all the stuff we've done in the past couple weeks. Tossed in here. I'm probably going to get rid of release drafter. I just can never make this damn thing work properly without adding like a whole bunch of exclusions of pull requests. So try out the new dev branch of the Windows utility, WinDev. So if you want to launch this, what you can do, let's just close that out. What's going on here? All right, well, whatever. Let's come into main. Let's just pull it. All right, cool. So we'll come back over here and we're going to do an IRM, but instead of win, if you go .dev, y'all can test and see all these changes that we've made in the latest version. I did see a slight little red there, but I wonder what that was. Test these out, see how it goes. Got a whole bunch of stuff. Another new thing. This is from Martin. He did an auto theme. You can go light theme. You can go dark theme, or you could just have it assigned by the that was a Martin's edition. And you saw Drift users starting to work on a new application install for this whole UI. The other thing I think we probably should do as well, probably next time we look at WinUtil, removing of edge, I think, is also borked. Let's check that out real fast because, let's see, what do we have? Okay, yeah. So we have edge installed, right? Yeah, okay. Whatever. Oh, no. No. Nope. Okay. Close that. All right, yeah. Moment freak out. All right, remove edge. Run in tweaks. Now, it should switch it to Ireland and then run an uninstall and get rid of Edge. But last time I did it, it did not work. And I think this time it was no different. Yeah, so that needs a little more work. Sadly, that is not working. Now, the old way of just ripping it out like with a sledgehammer, no good. So we'll have to redo that because I did notice that that issue. So, all right, y'all, have a great one. I will see y'all. Let me know either in Discord or as an issue in here what we got going on, and we'll just keep going. It's a good time. Remember when you play Age of Empires 4, keep building villagers. Oh yeah. My RTS gaming. Soon, I'm gonna be a gold player again. All right, y'all. Have a good one. Peace.